Hi, my name is Dina, and I read tarot and oracle cards, along with some other things that I do. And I've been really feeling this call to do this read for the new moon starting on the 9th in Cancer, and I've wanted to I've been called for more than a week to do a divine masculine and a divine feminine read. And I chose the cards that I was going to draw from, and I have 3 decks that I'm ready to draw from. I'm going to draw from the Uncommon Tarot, the Prism deck, and the Energy Oracle. And I'm excited to do this because the first read that I'm going to do is for the Divine Masculine. I'm feeling the energy of all of our internal battles and struggles with our own internal masculine and our own internal feminine. I'm not feeling that there's a lot of balance right now, so that's why I've been compelled, and I'm choosing to do the Divine Masculine first. And I'll start with my tarot cards, and we'll see what the universe has to say for the collective. Cards are popping already. What is the Divine Masculine want to know? You have a lot of questions. Okay. Guys, girls, masculine energy. So I threw a lot of these. If you work with me or you do a reading with me, you would sit down and be aware that this is going to be pretty thorough and extensive. And I've just drawn a lot of cards. So as I get through this, I'm going to have to stop and take a pause and identify correctly each card for you, because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 tarot cards through for you. And I'm just going to go ahead and start throwing some energy, some prism, some color on this to shed some light on why the first card I draw is the 3 of Swords in that Divine Masculine. Not feeling very honored. Throwing the Love card in reverse, Magic in reverse. So what is the Divine feeling? They're not. Nope, they're feeling a lot of anxiety. The Divine Masculine is feeling some anxiety. Hunger in reverse, Reflection in reverse. Just stop with the divine, with the divinity of believing that one thing belongs to the other, or that there is some kind of alpha or some kind of beta man, or that there is an energy that's contributed that's somehow more powerful when you say masculine, because the reality is we need each of those energies to balance us out, and it looks very different depending on who it's coming with. Ooh, and we've got some ghosting going on, lack of strength, some isolation, determination. You want to get that anger in reverse. You do have balance, but the ideation, it's time to surrender, because until you do, you're going to stay in that reverse flow, which I'm feeling like my throat doesn't even want to say it out loud. Stop illuminating things that aren't shiny and aren't bright, that don't light you up. And I'm going to pull some energy cards from here and see what we get for this, because the Divine Masculine has a lot going on in terms of 20 tarot cards, maybe 11. So the energy over here is clear that those things aren't happening because your action in that energy is somehow silenced. You're unhappy. Let's see. The anxiety comes over contracts of some kind, money, legal. I see scales of justice. It's time for the divine masculine to understand that it's okay to rest that part of yourself so you can get the cornucopia and the happy family that you want. Got to work on that 7th chakra, and we'll talk about that. The Archangel Uriel is protecting your imbalance, the lack of confidence, the ghosting, the anger. You're on a journey, and although you feel all tied up, if you're patient, let's pull from this archetype deck. So if you're patient, in the past would be understanding that, let's see, we have the healer. Okay. So, I could turn the camera down, but I don't know how nice that looks, but I will put this together and come back and give you a read on this, because this is a phenomenal story for the divine masculine. Give me a second, I'll be right back. Hi, divine masculines, I'm back. I threw so many cards that I literally had to take notes so I could guide you through this little plethora of just the tarot that came out at us first. And the first card we threw was the 3 of Swords in reverse. And I know that a lot of tarot readers like to really stick solid to that. 2 men, 1 woman, 2 women, 1 man, the trifecta of a heartbreak, when in reality, in today's world, there are a lot of things that you can love over your love. And when I see this card, it's indicating to me that the divine masculine maybe have his heart being pulled in multiple directions, and he may not even be aware of it. However, I will just indicate quickly, and we'll come to this later, that it did touch the love card in reverse. So I'm gonna speculate, because the vibration has been that the last 18 months or so have really developed a lot of situationships and not relationships. They are relations that were formed in time of trauma, and there may be some trauma bonds going on, but that's for a whole nother conversation. Let's just get right to the next tarot cards, which is the 8 of Coins in reverse. And I'm feeling like a lot of divine masculines are stuck. It is time to let go. Whatever the thoughts, the perceptions, the ideas that were keeping you up or tormenting your belief system, it's time to let those go, because they really were created in a time of pain. The next card I throw is the King of Coins, and my divine masculines who collect recklessly, who go through things that maybe they didn't earn or create themselves. And the next card I get is the World in reverse, and I'm just feeling all this unfinished business. I'm checking in on my notes because I was writing really quickly to get through this. I'm feeling that fear is stopping you from moving forward. And when we move right into the 10 of Cups in reverse, it's about you're just not going to be able to allow outside forces, family, lack of temperance, it can't be your decision maker. It just can't. Moving in the six of stone, into the six of coins, I feel that the substance, that the divine masculine is out there for them, but it's time to ask. Then I throw another card. I throw the King of Swords in reverse, and there are a lot of reverse cards in here, but we'll get through this and I'll explain it to you here. I throw the King in reverse, the King of Swords to be specific, and I'm feeling a lot of pain and loss over stupid decisions, and you have the ability to flip that energy. Again, if we can find this place of temperance, and the next card that we move into is the Magician, and all I can feel for the divine masculine right now is, we'll talk about this later, I got the stop card slamming right on it, touching it, and a balance of positive and negative to the right and the left, and it's time to take those magical powers and become the healer and the truest self you want to be. And we'll get there and I'll explain it to you, but your magic is in the ordinary, everyday things that you do. There doesn't have to be you don't have to create a situation that's staged with a million props to avoid reflection. The next card that I throw is the Nine of Swords, and that tells me that it is time for your shadow work. The things that are swept so much under that rug, well, the rug is old and it has holes in it, and everything under the rug is coming out the sides, and there is no way to avoid the shadow work that needs to be done in order to move on to the grace that comes to you at the end, if you choose correctly, because the next card I pull is the Strength in reverse, and I feel like the divine masculine feels like they're losing hold. They have a lot of lack of trust. There's a whole lot of confusion going on. Again, it's because you're going to need to stop so you can find your truest self and become your own healer and get that reflection card upright. The next tarot card I read is the Devil card, and in my heart just gets full, because I can see that that's the end of something, and this is a lot of stuff back here that doesn't feel so tremendously grateful sometimes, and I'm going to suspect that some of you who are hearing this may have already experienced and or felt it, and if anyway it doesn't resonate with you, please move on. You don't have to stay here. But the next card again that I read is the Devil card, and the first thing that shouted in my head is, how can we break the cycle, as I continue to throw cards, and then I throw the Hanged One, and I realize that it's time to surrender. I don't know why people think that surrendering is giving up power, because surrendering is actually taking your power back. Then the next card I get is the Ace of Wands, and I feel that through all the things that you come through in this divine masculine energy, that spark still stays deep in you. You don't give up. feelings of abundance, even if you don't have abundance right now. So guiding that energy, so through the cycle of life as the wheel turns, when we're in luck, we know how to touch inside the inner self healer and get to a place of abundance with very little. Whether you're scaling down or grooving up, the appreciation needs to be taken there, because I'm feeling here in these last two that I threw, the 10 of coins in reverse is something to do with avoidance of money situations. It might have to do with family, and since the next card I throw is justice, it may be some untended to court debt, financial debt, where your scales are imbalanced. You're not giving the same as you're receiving. You're a bigger taker in that moment. So the next cards I throw come from the Prism Oracle, as I showed you before. The first one I throw in reverse, touching the Three of Swords, is love in reverse, magic in reverse, anxiety, hunger in reverse, stop, self-reflection in reverse, ideation, ghost, isolation, surrender. Stay determined even when you don't feel your strength, even when you don't know what to do with your anger. Have some confidence on this journey that you're on. Stop illuminating things that aren't shiny. The 7th chakra, which is your crown chakra, is being guided by your Archangel Uriel. And what Uriel wants you to know is that with balance and a little confidence and some patience, you can release that all tied up feeling. You can move into the good energy of yourself. This anxiety will go away. Put your life into action. When action comes in reverse, get off your ass. Embrace the inner vessel that is you, that is beautiful, that is magnificent. Find that you are the cornucopia. This hunger card in reverse is from your soul not getting filled. Be the healer and know that at the end of the day, when you can get through all this work, that the ocean and the happy family are waiting for you. Evident happy family, what that would mean. The ocean is the uncharted waters of your soul that you have not been in, that you've been afraid to swim in, that you've been more willing to hide in lack of justice. You see the medallion, you want it, but you don't want the obligation of the contract. So I think it's time for the divine masculine to take a really good, hard look at that energy and appreciate its value and that it matters, and that all these crazy cycles that go on through the life are through the wheel of life. But if you can stay grounded and keep your heart in the right place, it really is a time for fresh starts, new beginnings. This is a new moon, and it is a time of manifestations. And with getting the magic card and then stop, I think the end of the read tells me that it's time to get this reflection card right and maybe stop looking at other people and start looking at yourself. because you are the magic divine that lights everything that's feminine, the yin and the yang. Peace. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to. Have a great day.